Now let me point out one glaring shortcoming of the graph as I've constructed it. This distance between these points appears to be greater than the distance between these points, and the distance here seems to be greater than the distance here, and that is absolutely not what will occur. If you just think about the geometry of the circle, you'll see that the spacing between these points has to be less than the spacing between these points, which is clearly so, but then that this spacing should be less than the spacing between these points, which is not at all the way it looks, and I don't think it's the way it is. And the spacing between these points should be less than the spacing between these points. Again, it's because of the geometry of the circle. These points are all equally spaced, but this point, the segment from this point to this point is more vertical than the segment between this point and this point, which is more vertical than the segment between these two points, etc. And if you just take those premises and put them together, you could write out a good proof of the fact that these points, that the spacing of these points needs to be constantly decreasing. It doesn't look that way. It's very important to understand that that's the case. If the graph is constructed with complete accuracy.